What's up, and welcome back to another episode of InSights, the podcast built to help you with your recruitment and digital marketing. As always, I'm joined by Haley Marketing's Director of Recruitment Marketing. He's Matt Lozar. Matt, how are we feeling this week, buddy?
We're feeling good, Brad. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fired up, Matt, and I want to tell you why.
Okay.
I got my first round of golf in last weekend.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I did. I didn't add it up. I wasn't the keeper of the card, but I'm learning something. Go, you first,
I have
please.
a take there.
Yeah.
I read something that when people golf or play golf or go golfing, that's a separate take for a separate day.
Sure.
You don't need to ask them what their score was.
Matt, I'm 34. I'll be 34.
Sure.
I'm not a good golfer. I can break 100. I'm out there hitting the ball. I'm out there to be with the boys. I'm having a good time. It was sunny. We're all hooting and hollering. Honestly, man, if I could maybe stay away from eights a little bit more, I'd be happy. But like, I know the kind of golfer that I am at this point. So I got home and my wife was like, well, who won? How'd you do? I was like, honestly, Rach, I had a great time. And I don't even know what I shot, but it was good enough for me. And the sun was shining. The birds were chirping. Mm-hmm. It was great. Maybe a little too many sandflies if we're going to get particular, but it was great.
Yeah, it was an interesting just viewpoint I read. I think it was over the winter about asking people with golf, and like it can make someone super self-conscious and just not want to golf or tell someone because if they're embarrassed about it. Like, honestly, when I golf with someone, as long as you play fast, I don't care what the heck you shoot. Like, just play fast. I don't either. Why
put yourself into that mindset of I'm either happy or sad based on the score? Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm out there with the boys. I don't get to see them much. We all have families. We all got things going on now. So every other week we try to get together. It's like the dad social hour out there. We just have a good time for 4 to 5 hours and it's fun. And there's probably a lesson there, friends. There's probably a takeaway. Don't stress yourself out over something that doesn't really matter. My score at the end of the day, whether or not I shot 100 or I shot an 82 yesterday, I don't care. Like I said, I got out with the boys and we had fun.
I probably need to work on this in this household because every time I come home, my daughter, who's 10, asks me what I shot. So
you're a decent golfer though, right? So you are trying to be better than you were the round before.
Yeah, but still it's an interesting, I can't, I mean, I'll stand out there in the golf, but I can't let her down. Can't let the kid down. Gotta have a good number. So
like you're going after the green jacket.
Well, no, we're not going after the green jacket, but whatever you do. Yeah. Like Brad said, it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah. Let happiness be the deciding factor. I had a great time. My grass looks great. I had a great round of golf. And Matt, I'm just in a good mood right now. So what do you say? You want to record an episode?
Yeah, we should. That's why we're here.
Matt, we got a little bit of recognition in a third-party ebook survey recently, Staffing Hub. You got the data pulled up, Matt. How is it worded exactly?
It is worded, how valuable are the following publications, podcasts, or blogs? So they're asking, it was a big survey about the industry. We'll have some takeaways on the survey too.
Yeah.
What'd you find the most valuable? Scale of 1 to 5. Number 1, SIA. Okay. ASA is number 2. Staffing Hub's number 3. And then Staffing Monthly is number 4. But the number 1 rated podcast was the two of us, Seekers of Staffing Success. It was, quite honestly, to me, I won't speak for Brad, a little shocking and humbling, but kind of cool.
Yeah. I love anytime somebody reaches out and says they enjoy the show. Yeah. Anytime somebody drops a note saying, hey, I love that tip. We're doing this. We're trying it. We tried it. It didn't work. I love any single time somebody reaches out. Matt, we've said on the show before, we have that folder on SharePoint where we clip every single time somebody says something about the show and we store it in a folder for a rainy day. Matt, I was floored. I appreciate it. There's some great podcasts around the industry. The fact that y'all gave us enough recognition to put us near the top, not near, actually at the top of that list. I appreciate you. We appreciate you being here, and we're glad you're taking some tidbits of information away from the show.
Yeah, you couldn't have said any better. That was awesome. Great way to open the show. And now I think we can dig into that report a little bit.
I have 2 major takeaways. I want to give you my first. Sure. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to get real close to my screen here in a second. It starts on page 64 of the Staffing Hub 2024 State of Staffing Report. The redeployment rate decreased in every industry, while the biggest industry decreases were in finance and accounting with 44% redeployment and office clerical administrative 27% redeployment. Matt, why in the world aren't we redeploying more people? I cannot for the life of me understand why we are not redeploying people that we've already put to work.
You know what's interesting? I have stats here too. I didn't get industry, but one of my 4 or 5-ish stats, I like to look at the companies that they did a good job in the report of companies that did fast growth and companies that contracted in the past year. Yeah. And one of the stats was actually redeployment. The companies in the fast growth track, their redeployment rate was 29% higher.
Huh. Really makes you think. What are we doing here?
It's interesting because it's also coming from the job spend guy who says go spend money on Indeed, but it should be part of your mix. Your redeployment has to be a part of the formula with your active candidate campaigns. So not the companies that are redeploying are growing fast. The companies that are not redeploying are contracting.
Mic drop moment, Matt. If we think about consumer goods, you finally get somebody to buy a t-shirt. You finally get somebody to buy a polo. Great. Now let's get them to buy the same thing in a different color. Get them to buy more of the same product. Why are we not redeploying people that have already said they want to work with us? I do not get it. Why is that number decreasing? Matt, it blows my mind. If you're a friend of the show and you can talk some sense into me, I'd love to know what's going on. I would truly, candidly love to know. But in my mind, in the 11 years working in staffing and recruiting now, I cannot for the life of me figure out why we don't put more emphasis on redeployment. Matt, you got a number for us before I get to my second one?
No, go ahead.
Okay. The second one that I liked a lot referred to the Net Promoter Score. This is on page 30 of, again, the Staffing Hub 2024 State of Staffing Report. NPS scores for both fast growth and slow growth agencies were higher than those for whom revenue contracted. The industry average was 64, which is up from last year's 56. Matt, that's a huge win. I did not think we were near that high as an industry. That shocked me.
I didn't remember the stat until you read it. Like if you go through this report, it's literally close to 100 pages and just overload of stats. And that's coming from me. So that one I didn't write down, but when you were saying, I was keying in on what the number was going to be. And I don't know if I picked it up on the video, but I was surprised it was 64. 64 is very good. World class is 75, 80 in NPS. So, I mean, yeah, you want to be as high as you can, but to have a net promoter score of 64, I was honestly stunned when you just said that. And I think that's a thumbs up to the industry that it's doing a good job.
64 seems high. I'm not saying the data's wrong. 64 seems really high. When I look at NPS score, I look at, which is different than Google's 5-star rating, but it's somewhat correlated. Can sort of understand if somebody has a 2.5 or a 3, what that might equate to, rolling out to 100. That seems high to me. Now, I'm glad it's going up. Maybe we have a positive growth across the industry in terms of reputation for the industry. I still think as a whole, the staffing and recruiting industry has a negative connotation with it that we are constantly just going to battle. But I love to see that number is going up. Matt, what else you got for us from that report?
Only other one I think I want to talk about is it does a lot focusing on the companies that contracted versus fast growth. But the one that was significantly different in the notes that I wrote down was the fast growth companies were 2 times as likely to automate performance monitoring, credentialing, and pre-screening interviews. So they're implementing the tech quickly. They're implementing it when someone has either applied to do some pre-screening or credentialing once they've moved along in that process to let their teams probably focus on non-administrative tasks and to reduce friction, not only for their team, but for the people that are applying or the people that are, in that onboarding phase, because ghosting doesn't just happen in the interview process. It's happening in onboarding. It's happening in the beginning of assignments. So the companies that are growing are implementing the tech to fill faster.
I think it was Justin Usselton who said it on Take the Stage that if your technology is not a competitive advantage, it's a competitive disadvantage. And he framed it really, really well on that episode. And that's why I'm bringing it to this show. We need to be looking at our tech religiously. I think we fall into the habit of this is the way it was. This is the way we're going to continue doing things. But those fast growth companies that are constantly re-evolving and rethinking what technology means to them, that's the reason why they're continuing to grow. Matt, I and you can't speak more highly of reducing friction. Whatever it takes to get somebody to apply quickly, efficiently, whatever it takes to get a prospect to reach out quickly and efficiently, I'm all for. I think as we can continue that conversation throughout the onboarding process and making sure it's easy for someone to know where they're at in the process. Oh boy, do I have something for you, Matt. Speaking about the process, the shorts situation happened again, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give us a recap. Give us a recap.
Friends, oh my Lanta. So 2 episodes ago, wow, talk about completely losing my train of thought. 2 or 3 episodes ago, I talked about how I got a free pair of shorts from Whoop because I filled out a survey. I was a part of one of their surveys. Back and forth on the UPS truck for 4 to 5 days. I saw the tracking on the truck, doesn't come to my house. On the truck, doesn't come to my house. For like a week, Matt, turns out the shorts were the wrong size. So I had to send them back and get a different pair. Okay. Finally in Buffalo, supposed to get them. Again, don't show up. The next day they did come. So all is well in the world. But friends, if you're going to tell your candidate you're going to do something, or if you're going to tell on the shipping side of things, something's going to show up, make it show up. Why is it so hard? But Matt, to come back to what we were just talking about, making sure candidates know where they're at in the process is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. Gosh, what a tangent there. Sorry.
No, there's actually good said. I don't have it off the top of my head because it's been a while since I've seen it, but the premise is there for the companies that have longer applications that might be tied to their ATS. Like some companies have to do it if they're enterprise or just bigger with their ATS and have the 5, 6, 10 page applications. The bar that tells you how far along you are actually leads to more completed applications because it's not just, oh, I click next, maybe there's another one. Oh, I click next, there might be 10 more. When I know I'm at 10%, 20%, 32%, it actually increased applications. So that kind of ties together it's the Domino's pizza tracker. Part of our expectations right now.
I think it was Gary Vee or either him or Alex Hermosi. I just saw a video from them, one of the two, who said that having that progress bar on your content leads to more people getting to the end of the video because they want to know how much longer they have to invest. Now, all video players tell you have 42 seconds, but the actual progress bar, adding that in gets more people to actually get to completion of the video. Interesting. Anything else from the Staffing Hub survey you want to talk about, Matt?
No, I thought it was a great report. A ton of stats. Too. So it can be a little overwhelming, but if you go in knowing what you want to look for or just kind of skim and then dig into it, it's a great report and for companies in the industry to learn from.
Again, friends, that's the Staffing Hub 2024 State of Staffing Industry Report. We'll link to it in the show notes for you so that you can get your copy today. Matt, I thought about one more piece of technology that I believe is table stakes for having a website in 2024, and I want to talk about it. We've talked about IP tracking. We've talked about remarketing. I think pay-per-click advertising and specifically targeting your competitor's keyword and your competitor's brand name, I think it's table stakes for having a website in 2024. What do you think?
I don't know if I've ever thought about it in a table stakes capacity. I know it can be a really effective tactic. There might be some people that don't love it, to be perfectly transparent. But
sure,
if you're going into the search engines and, targeting your competitors' keywords, some companies and business owners love it. And it can be a great way to get you to the top of search results in a, I would think, not super expensive fashion.
The root of it is somebody is searching for Matt Staffing Firm. Brad Staffing Firm wants to show up when someone's searching for Matt Staffing Firm, and that's the technology you run. Car dealerships do it all the time. Car brands actually do it all the time, like Audi, BMW, things like that. They do it religiously. Direct to consumer goods, Lululemon versus Bird Dog or Whoop, whatever kind of brand that might be, they do it religiously. Matt, I think if you want to be an elite staffing firm in 2024, this is just table stakes of having a website. We are constantly saying we're losing business to our competitors. Great, steal it back. And this is exactly how you can do that.
When you start to actually know this is a potential tactic, and then you go into your real world life, and Brad talked about those e-commerce or those business B2C examples, that then it's like, oh, and you see a little sponsored up when you search a brand name and its competitor shows up. It happens all the time. This is nowhere near unique to the staffing industry. So it can be a really nice tactic to target to get you to the top of the list, because there's a ton of competition in your local area. You're probably not going to be able to go after a Fortune 500 company's name. That's going to be crazy expensive. But if Matt Staffing Agency is in the area and Brad wants to try to buy the keyword on Google, so when somebody goes into Google and searches Matt Staffing Agency and Brad's name appears above me on my list,
Above it. Yeah.
that's an option. And then if we really want to get maybe a little big brain, that's an oxymoron, but a little big brain here, I might have to buy my own name.
Yeah, you might, because your competitor's buying it, right? I just think, and we've talked about just sort of the cost of having a website or the cost of having a brand in 2024. We've used it as segments before. And I came across this again last week when I was talking to a client about what we could do to take traffic from their competitor. I thought we should bring it to the show. And again, friends, you see it. If you look for any sort of direct to consumer, Lululemon's a great example because they're the number one D2C brand, as far as I know. You look at Lululemon, and next thing you know, you're seeing pants for Bird Dog, or you're seeing pants for, I know Viori's another brand, things like that. Staying in front of your prospects, staying in front of potential candidates because they're searching for your competitor is a fantastic way to drive business and drive applications in 2024. Matt, anything else you got for us this show, buddy?
No, nothing today.
I think it's a short one, and I'm okay with it. We're going to have a real good recap InSights coming up here. I'm heading out to the California Staffing Professionals Annual Conference. Love to recap shows when I come back, so we'll have that planned for the next episode. But friends, again, if you were a part of that Staffing Hub survey and you voted for the secrets of staffing success, aka InSights, and Take the Stage, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you checking out now what feels like 100 and almost 150 episodes, Matt. Appreciate being here for the journey, and we can't wait to put out more content for you. That's our show, and thank you for listening to another episode of InSights. If you found this episode valuable, we would love to know. You can message Matt or Brad on LinkedIn to share your thoughts. If you have a question for us, you could tweet us at Haley Marketing and let us know what you're thinking, or email info@haleymarketing.com. And of course, if you need a hand with your marketing or recruitment marketing initiatives, we love to help. You message info@haleymarketing.com, and be sure you tell them that InSights sent you. My podcast partner, Matt Lozar, this is Brad Biley. We'll see you next time.